And we're going to do the broken down version of the foghorn tonight, which is there you go, there's your foghorn.
All right. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Lppbbsg Primary Purpose Big Book Study Group. Our study follows a 96-week cycle that began on the title page and continues through page 164. We study spiritual experience in Appendix 2 3 times when the asterisk refers us there. We also study Dr. Bob's Nightmare and the 12 Traditions. We close our study on week 96 by studying spiritual experience as a standalone meeting. Our meeting began January 7, 2020, using this format, and we are grateful you are all here to study with us tonight. My name is Larry, and I am a recovered alcoholic.
And my name is Jamie. I am a very grateful recovered alcoholic.
Before we begin, please be aware that the first 90 minutes of this meeting will be recorded in audio only for our website, podcast, and your YouTube channel. If you miss the study portion, you can listen to it online. Study pages will also be listed in chat. Be sure to check out the information posted in the chat throughout the meeting for our other meeting times. Are there any announcements for the greater good of AA or for this group?
Hi family, my name is Jamie, very grateful recovered alcoholic, so grateful to have all of you with us tonight. Next weekend in Lewisburg, Tennessee, for those of you who happen to be in Tennessee or visiting Tennessee at the Lewisburg Rec Center, we are going to be having our District 40 picnic. And it's going to be real good. We're going to have a speaker. We will be having barbecue provided by the district, and side dishes, and hopefully we're going to have some baked goods for auction, and we'll also be auctioning off gift baskets as well, donated by the group. So it's all for a fundraiser. So that's what and before I forget, Picklepalooza, 4th of July, my house. Those of you who are visiting, going to come to Tennessee, let me know. Those of you who live in Tennessee, you have my number, so let me know, and we'll get you here and come on and hang out with us for a few days. We have a whole lot of fun. And after that, on July 10th through the 12th, we will be having our third quarter assembly held at the UT Space Center. District 40 is one of the 5 districts that is part of the host committee, and this group is part of District 40. So this group is involved, and there will be a few of us there at the area assembly. And if you've never been to one, it's quite an experience. Thank you.
Thank you, Jamie. Tonight's recap page will start on page 75, beginning with returning home, and end on 76. And it will be read by Nikki. Tonight's study page will start on page 76, beginning with Now We Need, and it will be read by Joanne.
And Please take a moment to get settled and get comfortable. We take our big book study seriously, and we want everyone to feel present and connected as we begin. In a moment, we will take a 3-minute meditation followed by our family's fog light prayer. As we move into the study, please help us maintain a peaceful environment. Please be mindful of background noises when you are unmuted. If you wouldn't do it in a live meeting, please don't do it here on Zoom. Also, please stay muted during other people's share, and we will call on the hands in the order that they are raised.
From the foreword to the first edition of Alcoholics Anonymous. We of Alcoholics Anonymous are many thousands of men and women who have recovered from a seamless, hopeless state of mind and body to show other alcoholics precisely how we have recovered is the main purpose of this book and of this group. For the meditation, focus on your breath and posture, breathe in God and breathe out self. Take this time to reconnect with God and release the day.
Hang on just a second. Hang on just a second. My horn decided to start honking.
Well, we will have the monks in just a moment.
Donald, I'm making you co-host. Would you take care of that, please? Thank you very much. And let's invite the monks in to do what the monks do best. And let me figure out where I'm at here. Screen share. Optimize. Enjoy your time with God, folks. That's you, Larry.
It's time now for our fog light prayer. God, let your love shine through us like a fog light, so that those that are lost, sick, and dying can find your love through us. Amen.
And let's have our secretary's report. Kenny, welcome. Come on in.
Good evening, everyone. Hi, my name is Kenny. I'm your recovered alcoholic secretary. I asked Donald to read recovered statement which explains why many in this group identify as recovered. Go ahead, Donald.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Donald, and I'm a very grateful recovered but not cured alcoholic, and this is the recovered statement. Recovered. We are not cured of alcoholism. Recovered but not cured. That represents a conflict to some alcoholics. If we were cured, we would be able to drink responsibly. No, we are not cured. The allergic reaction to alcohol will remain with us for a lifetime. But we have been restored to sanity. That was the problem. The main problem of the alcoholic centers in his mind rather than in his body. Page 23. We are now sane where alcohol is concerned. Consequently, we have recovered. Thank you for letting me be of service.
Thank you, Donald. Once again, my name is Kenny. I'm your recovered alcoholic secretary. We meet every Tuesday, 5:30 Central Time for fellowship, 6:30 Central Time for Big Book study. Chat is disabled during study for focus. From forward to the second edition, page XXX, of alcoholics who came to AA and really tried. 50% got sober at once and remained that way. 25% sobered up after some relapse, and among the remainder, those who stayed with AA showed improvement. All right, anyone joining the meeting for the first time, please raise your hand and welcome.
Looks like we have Megan and Hannah and Susan and Skeet and maybe a couple more in the waiting room. Welcome to you all.
Hey, welcome. Okay, now show of hands for our recovered alcoholics. These are your potential sponsors. Okay. Anyone celebrating a milestone this evening? Okay, no milestones. If you need a big book, we can send you a large printed copy. Please let one of us know by the chat after the meeting. Please practice the seven tradition using the link in the chat. We encourage you to get a big book and work with untreated alcoholic. Thank you. See you next week.
Thank you to all of you for your service tonight. From There Is a Solution. The tremendous fact for every one of us is that we have discovered a common solution. We have a way out on which we can absolutely agree and upon which we can join in brotherly and harmonious action. This is the great news this book carries to those who suffer from alcoholism. This is an open meeting and everyone is welcome. You are not required to identify yourself if you don't want to. Your anonymity will be protected, but we also ask that you protect ours. Our group is for those who want to recover from alcoholism and have a desire to stop drinking for good and all. Each member of Alcoholics Anonymous is a potential sponsor of a new member and should clearly recognize the obligations and duties of such a responsibility.
Before we begin our study of the Big Book, last week we reviewed Traditions 8. Tonight, let's take a quick look at Traditions 9. We can refer to page 562 of Alcoholics Anonymous. Come in, Linda.
Hi, my name is Linda. I'm an alcoholic. Tradition 9. AA as such ought never be organized. but we may create service boards or committees directly responsible to those they serve. Tradition 9 in the long form. Each AA group needs the least possible organization. Rotating leadership is the best. The small group may elect its secretary, the large group its rotating committee, and the groups of a large metropolitan area their central or intergroup committee, which often employs a full-time secretary. The trustees of the General Service Board are in effect our AA General Service Committee. They are the custodians of our AA tradition and the receivers of voluntarily AA contributions by which we maintain our AA General Service Office at New York, and they are authorized by the groups to handle our overall public relations, and they guarantee the integrity of our principal newspaper, the AA Grapevine. All such representatives are to be guided in the spirit of service, for true leaders in AA are but trusted servants and experienced servants of the whole. They derive no real authority from their titles. They do not govern. Universal respect is the key to their usefulness. This is Tradition 9 from Language of the Heart, August 1948. The least possible organization, that's our universal ideal. No fees, no dues, no rules imposed on anybody. One alcoholic bringing recovery to the next. That's the substance of what we most desire, isn't it? But how shall this simple ideal be realized? Often a question that we have, for example, the kind of AA who is for simplicity, terrified of anything organized. He tells us that the AA is getting too complicated. He thinks money only makes trouble, committees only make dissension, and elections only make politics. Paid workers only make professionals, and clubs only coddle slippers. Says he, let's get back to coffee and cakes by cozy firesides. If any alcoholic strays our way, let's look after them. But that's enough. Simplicity is our answer, quite opposed to such halcyon simplicity is the AA promoter. Left to himself, he would bang the cannon and twang the lyre at every crossroads of the world. Millions for drunks, great AA hospitals, batteries of paid organizers and publicity experts wielding all the latest paraphernalia of sound and script. Such would be our promoter's dream. Yes, sir, he would bark. My 2-year plan calls for 1 million AA members by 1950. For one, I'm glad we have both conservative and enthusiastics. They teach us much, and the conservative will surely see to it that the AA movement never gets overly organized. But the promoter will continue to remind us of our terrific obligation to the newcomer and those hundreds of thousands of alcoholics still waiting all over the world to hear of AA. We shall naturally take the firm and the safe middle course. AA has always violently resisted the idea of any general organization. Yet paradoxically, we have ever stoutly insisted upon organizing certain special services, mostly those absolutely necessary to effect and plentiful 12-step work. If, for instance, an AA group elects a secretary or rotating committee, if an area forms an intergroup committee, if we set up a foundation, a general office, or grapevine, then we are organized for service. The AA book and pamphlets, our meeting places and clubs, our dinners and regional assemblies, these are services too. Nor can we secure good hospital connections, properly sponsor new prospects, and obtain good public relations just by chance. People have to be appointed to look after these things. Sometimes paid people, special services are performed, but by none of these special services has our spiritual or social activity, the great current of AA, ever been really organized or professionalized. Yet our recovery program has been enormously aided. While important, these services activities are very small by contrast with our main effort. As such facts and distinctions become clear, we shall easily lay aside our fears of blithering organization or hazardous wealth. As a movement, we shall remain comfortably poor, for our service expenses are trifling. And with such assurances, we shall without doubt continue to improve and extend our vital lifelines of special service to better carry our AA message to others, to make for ourselves a finer, greater society, and God willing, to assure Alcoholics Anonymous a long life and perfect unity. To me, I just always think that this is all about the GSO office. And we have a GSO office. I'm going to give you, okay. Our GSO office is 475 Riverside Drive, 11th floor, New York, New York, 10115. The GSO office, if you want in New York, you can take a tour of it. And it gives you there's different rooms, and there's some people that are alcoholics, a lot of them are not, but they are hired, and they're paid for their service. We have public relations committee. We have a committee for people with, access, which means for people that are disabled, like they can't hear, or people that are blind. We have AA books in Braille. So I can't make an AA book in Braille. So yes, we're gonna have to go outsource, and we will have to hire a company that can, create all those Braille books. And there's a lot of other things. We used to have meaningless books. We don't have them anymore. Now it's an app. Someone had to make that app. So anything that you see going on in AA, we have special committees, service boards, or we have to outsource, and we have to hire someone to do it. But with GSO, that's the big business part of AA. People think it's just going to meetings. There's business to AA, a lot of business. Organized. We're not like a corporate. But we do have to, go ahead and have this GSO office. And that pulls everything together. I can't speak for AA. I can't get on TV and start speaking for AA. Let GSO be the voice of AA, not me. So if you want, anyone comes to New York, you can go there. They have archives. They have a lot of history there. And they go around and they give you a tour. And they tell you what each room, what that person does, and what it's for. And then you see the whole structure of AA, and like they say, the general service, and you really start intergroup, explain a lot of things that is going on, and new things that's going on, and things that are coming up, that, changes. So that's all that I have to say about Tradition 9.
Thank you, Linda. Appreciate your service. Now it's time for That Ain't in the Book. We sometimes hear things in meetings that can't be reconciled with what is in the big book. Tonight's topic is, if an alcoholic wants to get sober, nothing you say can make him drink. Nancy, tell us what it says on page 103, paragraph 2.
Nancy, alcoholic. A spirit of intolerance might repel alcoholics whose lives would have been saved had it not been for such stupidity. We would not even do the cost of drinking any drink. For not one drinker in 1,000 likes to be told anything about alcohol by one who hates it. Thank you.
Thank you, Nancy. Thanks for the service.
Thank you, Nancy. Be sure to use pens, highlighters, and rulers as we study, so that you can mark down important things that seem to strike you. We used a study guide prepared by Joe and Charlie and Krusty Cliff of the Dallas Primary Purpose Group to stay focused and consistent. We read the material once through, then dissect it through a question format. After tonight's study is read, we will ask questions from the imaginary podium, and answers will be one sentence unless otherwise specified directly from the study portion. This helps us to understand and apply the content clearly. Also, multiple questions are split up by commas, semicolons, hyphens, and other fun bits of punctuation.
After the study, we open the meeting for comments and questions based on the pages just read. Our purpose here is to stay in the book and let the message do the work. If a share drifts into something better handled with the sponsor, we'll kindly point you that way.
And one of our co-founders wrote, sobriety, freedom from alcohol through the teaching and practice of the 12 steps is the sole purpose of any Alcoholics Anonymous group.
Before we begin, I need to have 5 or 6 volunteered answers readers. All right. And also, I need my recap reader, which is Nikki, to start reading, starting on page 75, returning home.
Nikki, alcoholic. Hello, everybody. Recap. Returning home, we find a place where we can be quiet for an hour, carefully reviewing what we have done. We thank God from the bottom of our heart that we know Him better. Taking this book down from our shelf, we turn to the page which contains the 12 steps. Carefully reading the first 5 proposals, we ask if we have omitted anything, for we are building an arch through which we shall walk a free man at last. Is our work solid so far? Are the stones properly in place? Have we skipped on the cement put into the foundation? We have tried to make mortar out of sand, without sand. If we can answer to our satisfaction, we then look at step 6. We have emphasized willingness as being indispensable. Are we now ready to let God remove from us all the things we have admitted are objectionable? Can He now take them all, every one? If we still cling to something, we will not let go. We ask God to help us be willing. When ready, we say something like, my Creator, I am now willing that you should have all of me, good and bad. I pray that you now remove from me every single defect of character which stands in the way of my usefulness to you and my fellows. Grant me strength as I go out from here to do your bidding. Amen. We have completed the 7th step.
Thank you, Nikki. Now I'm going to ask our study reader to read, which is Joanne, to read starting with page 76. Now we need.
Good evening, family. My name is Joanne, and I'm an alcoholic. As you said, page 76. Now we need more action, without which we find that faith without work is dead. Let's look at step 8 and 9. We have a list of all persons we have harmed and to who we are willing to make amends. We made it when we took the inventory. We subjected ourselves to a drastic self-appraisal. Now we go out to our fellows and repair the damage done in the past. We attempt to sweep away the debris which has accumulated out of our effort to live on self-will and run the show ourselves. If we haven't the will to do this, we ask until it comes. Remember, it was agreed at the beginning we would go to any length for victory over alcohol. Probably there are still some misgivings. As we look over the list of business acquaintances and friends we have hurt, we may feel diffident about going to some of them on a spiritual basis. Let us be reassured. To some people, we need not and probably should not emphasize the spiritual feature on our first approach. We might pressure them. At the moment, we are trying to put our lives in order. But this is not an end in itself. Our real purpose is to fit ourselves to be a maximum service to God and the people about us. It is seldom wise to approach an individual who's still smart from our injustice to him and announce that we have gone religious. In the prize ring, this will be called leading with the chin. Why lay ourselves open to being branded fanatic or religious bore? We may kill a future opportunity to carry a beneficial message, but our man is sure to be impressed with a sincere desire to set right the wrong. He is going to be more interested in a demonstration of goodwill than in our talk of spiritual discovery. We don't use this as an excuse for shying away from the subject of God. When it will serve any good purpose, we are willing to announce our conviction with tact and common sense. The question of how to approach the man we hated will arise. It may be he has done us more harm than we have done him, and though we may have acquired a better attitude toward him, we are still not too keen about admitting our fault. Nevertheless, with a person we dislike, we take the bit in our teeth. It is harder to go to any enemy than to a friend, but we find it much more beneficial to us. We go to him in a helpful and forgiving spirit, confessing our former ill feelings and expressing our regrets. Thank you for letting me read.
Thank you.
Thank you, Joanne. Thank you to all of those that read tonight and did service. Okay, it's time for our answer session of the meeting. And our lineup is Sheila, Jacqueline, Linda, Tanya, Stephanie, Nancy, and Kenny. So we will start our answers on page 76. And Sheila, you're first up. It's a two-part question. A, what do you need now? What do we now need the when? And B, why do we need it?
Everybody will have to unmute. All the answer readers,
all
please
the answer
unmute.
readers, please unmute. Thank you. Thank you, Jamie, for reminding me of that.
Now we need more action, without which we find that faith without works is dead.
Thank you, Sheila. And I have the first of several comments that will be periodically coming in as well. So here's the first one. Again, we are reminded that this is a program of action, just not going to meetings.
Jacqueline, first question for you. What steps will we look at now?
Let's look at step 8 and 9.
Thank you. And Linda, what do we have?
We have a list of all persons we have harmed and to whom we are willing to make amends.
Yes, thank you. Tanya, where did it come from?
We made it when we took inventory.
Thank you. Stephanie, what do we now do?
We subjected ourselves to a drastic self-appraisal.
We did, thank you. Nancy, why do we go to see our family, friends, and neighbors the house?
Now we go out to our fellows and repair the damage done in the past.
Kenny, what do we really try to do? The what?
Now we go out to our fellows.
No.
I did that.
No, the next one.
We attempt to sweep away the debris from the debris which has accumulated out of our effort to live on self-will and run the show ourselves.
And the next comment, the following is the 8-step prayer. Remember that we are promised we would be given some willingness as we did step 4.
Yes. Sheila, back to you. What do we pray for?
If we have the will to do this, we ask until it comes.
Jacqueline, what must we remember? The why?
Remember, it was agreed at the beginning we would go to any length for victory over alcohol.
Linda, what is probably true?
Probably there are still some misgivings.
Tanya, this is a 2-part question. A, as we review the list, how do we feel about some of them? And B, why might we feel that way?
As we look over the list of business acquaintances and friends we have heard, we may feel diffident about going to some of them on a spiritual basis.
Thank you. Stephanie, can we be assured?
Let us be reassured.
Yes. Nancy, should we try to impress everyone of our spiritual way of life?
Some people we need not, and probably should not emphasize the spiritual future on our first approach.
Kenny, if we get heavy on spirituality, how might that affect them?
We might prejudice them.
Sheila, what are we really trying to do?
I think we lost
In the
Sheila.
prize.
Oh, Sheila got muted.
Okay, Sheila, you're muted. Is she gone?
No,
No,
she's
Here,
here. Hang on.
Sorry.
Yeah.
At
What?
the moment, can you hear me?
Yes.
At the moment, we are trying to put our lives in order. Sorry about the internet.
All right. Jacqueline, is that just what this program is all about?
But this is not an end in itself.
Yeah, I got mixed up, and I think you all put me back. Thank you. Linda, what is the real purpose of 12 Steps of Alcoholics Anonymous?
Our real purpose is to fit ourselves to be of maximum service to God and to the people about us.
And another comment, can this be achieved by just not drinking and going to meetings?
Yeah, think about it. All right. Linda, I think is the next one, correct?
You're in charge. Just ask, Larry. Whoever.
Linda, are you next one?
No, I already went, so it's the next person.
Stephanie.
Number 5 question.
To do so would be doing what?
It is seldom wise to approach an individual who still smarts from our injustice to him and announce that we have gone religious.
So Larry, you asked the wrong question. Ask Stephanie the question
again. Let me
again.
ask you the question again, Stephanie. What would be a very smart thing to do? Answer the same question you did.
It is seldom wise to approach an individual who still smarts from our injustice to him and announce that we have gone religious.
Thank you. Nancy, to do so would be like doing what?
In the Price word, this would be called leading with a chin.
Thank you. Kenny, if we do, what may they think of us?
Why lay ourselves open to being branded fanatic or religious boards?
Sheila, what is a more important reason?
May kill a future opportunity to carry a beneficial message.
Yeah. Jacqueline, what will the person be impressed by?
But a man is sure to be impressed with a sincere desire to set right the wrong.
And another comment. A condition which must exist before making amends is a sincere desire to set right the wrongs, the when.
Linda, what will the person be interested in?
He's going to be more interested in a demonstration of goodwill than in our talk of spiritual discoveries.
And another comment. Again, excuse me, I got a phone call and it just threw me off. Again, the message is what we do, not what we say.
Tanya, we don't use this as an excuse for shying away from what?
We don't use this as an excuse for shining away from the subject of God.
Stephanie, if we can help, what are we willing to do?
When it will serve any good purpose, we are willing to announce our convictions with tact and common sense.
Nancy, what question will arise?
The question of how to approach the man we hated will arise.
Kenny, what if he has hurt me more than I have hurt him?
It may be he has done us more harm than we have done him. And though we may have acquired a better attitude toward him, we are still not too keen about admitting our faults.
Yes, Thank you. Sheila, nevertheless, what do we do?
Nevertheless, with the person we dislike,
Go on a little bit further. The one we take.
I think we lost her. Just ask the next person the question.
Okay. Jacqueline, how about you? Nevertheless, what do we do?
Nevertheless, with a person we dislike, we take the bite, or we take the bit in our teeth.
Yes. Thank you, Jacqueline. Linda, even though it is difficult going to an enemy, what are the results?
It is harder to go to an enemy than to a friend, but we find it much more beneficial to us.
Tanya, you get the last question. It's a two-parter. A, in what frame of mind do we go to him, the when? And B, what do we confess, the how?
We go to him in a helpful and forgiving spirit, confessing our former ill feeling and expressing our regret. Thank you so much.
And there are two final comments. The first of which is, could this be termed love? To want to help and forgive. And the second comment, step 9 is the step that lets us forgive those of us, those we have hated, feared, and wished bad times towards, etc. Who on your 4-step list did you not have ill feelings towards? If we want to be forgiven, we must be forgiven, and then we are free. And if everybody could remute themselves. Thank you all for your service.
So thank you for being patient with me through some of the mistakes I made this first time through. It's time now for that time that we ask for those that have experience strength and hope in what we have just read. And if you want, you just put up your hand, and I will call on you as your hand is raised, and share with us what you might have and what you might. There is a if I have lost any sheet here, I'm sorry, Jaden.
No, you're good, Larry. Just go with it.
Anyway, do you, would somebody like to raise their hand? It's a demo chair. Start us off. Let me, if you have experience with these pages, oh, I do want to say, absence of profanity offends no one, so I do open up. Linda, go ahead.
I was cooking, so I had to take my food out, but I'm Linda and I'm an alcoholic. This is step 8 and step 9. And I like last week when the ladies were talking about the arch. We have to have a foundation, we really do, before we can even move to this step. And I also know one thing about this step. If you have not done a thorough 4th, 5th, and 6th step, facing yourself and the realities of yourself, and being willing to let go of these defects of character, understanding what they are, be willing to let go of them, not being so offended because someone tells you something about yourself that you didn't see, but having a feeling of, I'm willing to let this go. I don't want to hurt people anymore. I want to be a worker among worker. I want to be a friend among friends. That mentality we had before, you just don't want it. It's tired. It's heavy with that type of mentality. It's heavy on your spirit and your soul. You want to change. You want a different life now. You want peace. You want serenity. When you want that in your life, then you'll be able to do the 7th step, and you'll definitely be able to make amends. If you want peace and you want to right your wrongs, you will be able to do the 8th and 9th step. But if you have no intentions, and one man pointed out to me, he said, Linda, if you have resentments, it's because...
There we go. Weird.
Oh, can we mute Shayna? Okay. So this man pointed out to me, he said, Linda, if you have resentments towards everyone, if you get so offended when someone tells you something, not to insult you or to hurt you, but just to point it out so you can be aware of it, so you can do something about it, so you can stop doing it. He said, if you get upset like that so quickly and you're offended and you're resentful, he said it's because you're a selfish ass person. And I didn't talk to this man for a long time, but guess what? He was absolutely right. He was absolutely right. It's right there in the 6th step, character defects. If I don't know how to make amends to people, then that means that I am an arrogant such and such, blankety blank, blank, blank. Who am I to think that I'm perfect and I don't have to make amends to anyone? Who am I to think that? How arrogant. Where do I get that audacity? No, doesn't work like that. Doesn't work like that. Yeah, I've said things to hurt people. I have. And I had to make my amends. And some things you cannot take back. Some words are just so horrific you can't take back. Some actions are so horrific you can't take back. And when you don't make amends, in the end, and this is only my experience, I don't know about anybody else's, you hurt yourself. If you don't make financial amends, you ruin yourself. If you don't make amends with your family, you are going to be hurt. Your friends, everything. If you're not making amends, if you're not doing that 10th step, and we were wrong, promptly admitted it, how can you say you're recovering? How can I say I'm recovering? How? I'm not recovering. I'm not progressing. I'm regressing. I'm going back. There's no sobriety. There's sobriety. And I keep hearing this. Is this recovery just making meetings and not drinking? No, it's not. No, it's not. And I hear that all the time in my home group. It has to be some work done. I have to align my will with God's will. When I want to do something, I have to think, is this in alignment with God's will? Is this in alignment with what AA is telling me? No, it's not. Then I don't need to be thinking or doing it. Do I need to take vengeance on someone? Do I really? It's consequences. And I'm only hurting myself in the long run. So this is a vital step. And that one lady shared, she said she didn't make this step and she drank. She drank because she was holding on to a resentment. It hurts to forgive someone that hurt you, and it's hard as hell, but we still have to do it. And when I did forgive someone that hurt me, and they hurt me really bad, but then I learned to set boundaries, and I learned to choose my friends more wisely, and it was a whole learning experience, and I came out the better person. Even though I got hurt the most, and I got used the most, by a couple of women that I thought was my friend, and they really weren't. I'm the one that came out better. I don't have to feel ashamed. I don't have to turn my camera off, like this. Oh my gosh, that person, I don't have to do that every time, like I'm hiding every time I see them, because I'm not living foul. And someone told me, listen, you can stop drinking. No, what did the lady say? She said, what do you call, what is it, a drunken, dirty, stinking horse thief that you just took the alcohol from them? And I said, oh, they're a sober person. She said, no, they're still a dirty, stinking horse thief because you just took the drink from them. She said, but they still have their character defects if they're not willing to let go of them. It's a lot of work. My God has worked on my character defects. He has to remove them. I have to go through tough situations, see myself, and learn, and then slowly but surely be willing to let go of them and see how it's not benefiting me. It's not beneficial to me or anyone else. And guess what? When I'm resentful and I'm doing things my way, I am not drawing closer to my God. I'm pushing myself away from God. I'm pushing myself away from God. I'm spiritually sick if I still want to hurt people. Verbally or physically, mentally, whatever. Because it's not about me. I learned that long time ago in AA the hard way. It's not about me. It is not about me. I need to clean house, make amends, and help others. What is my primary purpose? What is my primary purpose? And yeah, I have to learn to set boundaries too. Then I won't get walked all over. There's nothing wrong with having a good heart. Don't change your heart. Just be wise who you give it to. And this is a very good step. This lady pointed out to me, I got upset with my sister, didn't talk to her for 10 or plus years. I didn't because she was still active. When I called her one time, I said, yeah, I got my degree. She was talking to me, and all of a sudden she just cursed me out, and it hurt me so bad. And I learned, stop calling people that are drunk. Telling your good news to bad spirits. Stop it. Stop it. So after she hurt me like that, I left her alone, and I ain't talked to her for years. So I was at a meeting, and it's my home group. I'm going to say this, I'm going to finish. The lady said, I wonder how my sister's doing. And her friend said, oh, you didn't know? You didn't hear? She said, no. She said, oh, she died years ago. Mind you, this is her sister her friend is telling her about. And it was the subject of making amends. So I was like, oh my gosh, my sister's going to pass away, and I'm going to be still with this stupid, foolish resentment. See, I have to accept her for who she is. She's a person who wants to still drink and drug. That's her. That's her life. I can't look down my nose at her. I can't reject her. I still have to love her, but from afar and differently, and that's a real hard thing to do. And it's hard to do, like they said, when somebody has hurt you, somebody has done harm to you. It's hard to make amends to them. I went all the way up to Endicott, New York, 10 minutes away from Binghamton, to go see her, to make amends, because that's my sister and I love her. And it was hurting me. Yeah, I had my resentment. I wasn't going to talk to her. I was going to show her, but guess what? Every day I was hurting. So I'm glad that we made amends. I'm so glad. And now look, she has cancer. And yeah, I'm going to go all the way up to Rochester, where the hospital she's in, to go see her. Because when I was a kid and I was sick in the hospital, she came to see me every Saturday. I need to focus on the good and not the bad and the resentments. When I say a prayer at night, I say, I forgive, I forgive, I forgive, I forgive with all my heart, soul, mind, body, and spirit. And I say it, and in my mind I'm picturing all the people that have done, employers, friends, relationships, children. I picture them. It's like a whole photo album, and I'm just saying, I forgive, I forget. I can't name everyone, but I just keep saying it. And so long as I keep saying that, I don't have resentment. And I also ask God, heal me from any hurt that I've received from someone that hurt me. Please, I don't want this resentment in me. The lower power would love me to have resentment and then drink. The lower power would just be happy. He'd be tap dancing with his red shoes on. So I can't go that way. And when you become spiritually a lot in a better spiritual condition, you will go ahead and you will be humble. That 7th step, that Zen step. Then when all that junk is gone and that resentment is gone, then you can say, okay, I can make amends, and I can even make amends to people that hurt me. I'm going to get past that resentment. I'm going to do it. Because even if I like them, I don't like them, family or not family, I don't want the sun to go down that I didn't say, I apologize. Here, let me pay you back this money. Here, let me do this, let me do that. There was one person that I told I couldn't stand them. I said, I love you. I said, and I wish the best for you. And I left them alone. hated this person, and I told him that. I didn't say I hate you, and I want you to drive off a cliff. I didn't say that. I said I love you, and I wish you the best. I turned it around, and that's what AA told me. And when I did that, you don't know how much of a weight was gone. So this step is vital to your recovery and your spiritual health. Thank you for letting me share.
Thanks, Linda. Terry.
Hi, everybody. I'm Terry, recovered alcoholic, Pickle Chips. Larry, you did an excellent job for your first time. Very nice. There's a couple things here I have underlined or highlighted. Our real purpose is to fit ourselves to be of maximum service to God and the people about us. So that is that primary purpose here, is being of service to others, to God and the people about us. And that's where the step comes in too. Faith without works is dead. My sponsor had me outline because I didn't really want to do this. I came to this program convinced that it was everybody else's fault. Until I did my fourth and fifth step, I didn't see my part at all. So having to now make amends, it just seemed like the dust hadn't settled. But I got busy right away because she told me to, and because I was still convinced that it was not convinced. I mean, I'm starting to get a clue here that I had some part in this. She had me write out my first maybe 5 or 6 amends. And then she went through it and crossed things out with a red pen. The part that said, I did this because you did that. And I did that a lot. His faults are not discussed, it says right here in the big book. So she had me take those things out of there where I was picking on the things that they did to me. So that's how I started. So her crossing things out in red pen, it really helped me a lot. It was more of a visual thing, and I'm a visual learner. Happily, I was able to read a couple of the amends to people that they knew what I was doing, so I was able to read it. And there were a couple that I had. Well, one, this is kind of funny. There's this unhealthy relationship in my life. This man, and he tried to kill himself when I was only a couple weeks sober. And it just really devastated me. And after doing the first few steps, I had to break ties with him. And he wasn't speaking to me, and I wasn't speaking to him. So this is the days of the answering machine. I knew how many minutes a message machine was. I don't remember anymore. But I had that amends down. So it was exactly, I said it really fast. I got the whole thing off my chest, hung up, and that was, I never had to deal with him again. And when I hung up that phone, I was so relieved. But one last real quick story here. How to approach an individual, and where they say to pray, if you don't know how to get a hold of this, these people to pray about it. And I don't think I tried super hard, but there was this one outstanding person that I needed to make amends to because I was terrible to her. But she was horrible to me. I didn't bring that up. But I had, I was 2 years into sobriety and I had not run into her and I didn't really know how to contact her. I'm sure I could have if I really tried. But I was driving to my beach meeting and there she was walking with her husband. And I knew it was her. And I panicked, pulled over into a parking space, and I had to talk myself into this. This little voice is saying, don't do it, run. And this one's going, just do it, just do it. So I did. I took a deep breath. I pulled up alongside of her and said, Judy, can I talk to you? And she stopped and I made this beautiful amends without telling her that she did anything wrong. I didn't have it written down. I didn't have my sponsor crossing anything out. It was just from my heart because I wanted this one done. And so when I was ready, God put her in my path. And she said, well, I was horrible to you too. And I said, that part doesn't matter. I just want to make my amends to you. And we said goodbye. I drove away, got to my meeting, and I just jumped out of the car going, yeah, guess what I did? I just felt so fabulous. And even talking about it today, I feel fabulous because that's what this program is all about, is following these steps and doing what our ancestors outlined for us, even if you don't want to do it. So anyway, that's all I got. Thanks for letting me share.
Thanks, Terry. I want to give Megan, Anna, I noticed you had your hand up earlier. Did you? And then put it down. Did you all one of you all want to speak?
Yeah, that was Hannah, but she stepped away now, so she might come back in a few minutes, but
okay, have her put her hand up and let us know when she comes back. Jacqueline?
Everyone, my name is Jacqueline M., and I'm a recovered alcoholic. And thank you, Larry. You did an excellent job for your first time. And thank you for everybody's service here tonight. And, first of all, I just want to put out, with this step, 8 and 9, I know for me, I went in spiritual matters alone. When I first came here to Alcoholics Anonymous, I heard, you couldn't get over, your drinking, not less. I heard the honesty, but then I heard you couldn't get over your drinking unless, you do that 5th step, and then, you go out and make amends, and, this is something I did, really not being driven or giving any type of instructions or directions from my sponsor. So if you're new here, and if you haven't gotten to this step, don't, do what I did, make that mistake, because, I realized, these steps are in order for a reason, because by the time I got into the 11th step, I did a lot of work. But here again, the 8th and 9th step, I did a lot of work. But here again, this program was asking more of me, more. And, it says we made a list of all persons we had harmed and whom we were going to make amends, and where do we get that list from? We get that list from our fourth step, and it talks about, not some, but all people, and that's why, I needed a sponsor because, even though I had a list of all the people that I could remember that I hurt, they were on that list. Whether they hurt me or not, they were on that list. And, my sponsor helped me to kind of weed out, some of the people. And it talks about we made it from our fourth step. But here again, when I knew that I had to set right the wrongs I'd done, with these people, I kind of balked, because I, kind of still felt as though that I was the victim. But, right here it says, remember, it was agreed at the beginning that we would go to any length for victory over alcohol. And, my sponsor had me go back to page 58 where it says, if you have decided you want what we have and are willing to go to any length, then you're ready to take certain steps. And I had to pray for the willingness. I really had to pray for the willingness. And because it was some people, I was very hesitant to even put the list down or even attempt to make amends to those individuals, especially my son's father. I could see all the wrongs, and it goes back to self, I could see all the wrongs he did to me, but I was trying not to look at the harm that I did to him, not excusing the harm that he did to me, but this step is for me. It wasn't for him, so I had to lay aside, the prejudice and all of that stuff that he did to me and begin to put him on that list, make amends, because it talks, our real purpose is to fit ourselves to be of maximum service to God and the people about us, so how can I be of maximum service to, God and others, and I'm still holding on, deep resentments, harboring over not just the harm that was done to me, but not really looking at the harm that I done to people, because I was a tornado, just going through people's lives, I really didn't care, how they felt or any of that nature. So this step is about being responsible, a desire to set right the wrong I done, and I couldn't lead by the chin, meaning that, I had to not look at his fault, and I had to ask for the willingness, and once I asked for the willingness, I was, had put him down on the list, and I had made amends to him, and with freedom, I thought I got a lot of freedom in the fifth step, when I admitted to not only myself, but to God and to another human being, all that freedom that I received in that fifth step, and I began to have more freedom, when I released, the resentments and the harms that I thought others did to me, and not looking at the harms that I did with him, so, this step, talks about, and I like this part here, you know, when it may be he had done us more harm than we have done him, and though we may have acquired a better attitude towards him, you know, and that's where 6 and 7, you know, by the time, you know, uh, uh, practicing 6 and 7, you know, my whole attitude and outlook, you know, towards a lot of things begins to change, you know, and I had a better attitude, you know. They talk about that character building. You know, we are still not too keen about admitting our fault. Nevertheless, with a person we dislike, we take the bit out of our teeth. It is harder to go to an enemy than to a friend. And, you know, by that time, even though he was my son's father, he was definitely an enemy in my life. And, through the help of a sponsor, praying, and be willing, you know, and trusting in the process. You know, I was able to make amends to this guy before he died, you know, and I'm grateful for that. You know, I had to not look at the part that I played, you know, in a lot of, I had to look at the part that I played, not so much what he played, because, you know, I'm trying to grow along the spiritual line. I'm trying to be maximum service to God and others, you know. And, you know, I'm saying this fast, but it wasn't an easy piece of surgery. It definitely wasn't, you know. You know, even with my family members, you know, the same thing, you know. So even with my son, you know, because I thought that my drinking didn't harm the soul, you know, but I realized as I kept coming back and I got into these steps, I realized that I wasn't so much a bad person, I was really a sick person, you know, and it's all about self, you know. So today, you know, I'm okay with a lot of amends I made. You know, there was some that I couldn't make amends that I harmed, you know, such as my parents, you know, they both was deceased by the time I came to this program with Alcoholics Anonymous, and, you know, I roared through their lives too, you know. But like I say, you know, this is a sponsor-driven step. My sponsor, you know, helped me to, you know, make amends to them by writing a letter, you know, going to their cemetery. And it may not work for, you know, a lot of people, but it relieved me, you know, of the hurt and the pain that I took both parents through, you know. So I keep coming back so that my past mistakes won't be, my future mistakes won't be as long as my past mistakes, you know. And that's why we, you know, have a step 10, you know, because I don't want my step 10 to look like my 8th and 9th step when I came in here, you know, ashamed to look people in the face, you know. So, yeah, so anyway, I think I saw Joanne's hand up, so I'm not going to take any longer. I'm going to leave some time for her. And thank you again, Larry. You did an outstanding job. And tell Tisha I hope she get well.
Thank you. I don't sure which hand went up first, Tanya's or Joanne's, but I think Tanya is next. Tanya?
Thank you so much, Scuba Pickle Larry. You did a fantastic job. I absolutely enjoyed this meeting, and thank you, Jamie and Mr. Pickles as well. Everything you do for this meeting and for all of us. I'm very grateful to be here, Tanya Alcoholic, and you know, I really enjoyed going through every single step in AA. Every step is very, very important, and I felt so much freedom and release when the steps were completed. I understand that resentments are very dangerous for me as an alcoholic, so I work on every day to make sure that I am not collecting them as I used to. When I started my step 4, there was a lot of resentment, anger, fear, insecurities, and today I want to say that this program has been changing me with my attitude and outlook. It's a different way of seeing things, and I'm just, if it's okay, I'm just going to read a couple pieces here. From 12 Steps and 12 Tradition book, it says on page 90, and this is what really helps me when it comes dealing with people. And it says, it is a spiritual axiom that every time we are disturbed, no matter what the cause, there is something wrong with us. If somebody hurt us and we are sore, we're in the wrong also. I really love that reading. And then I'll just move a little bit to page 417, and it says, AA and acceptance have taught me there is a bit of good in the worst of us and a bit of good in the best of us, that we are all children of God and we each have a right to be here. When I complain about me or about you, I'm complaining about God's handiwork. I'm saying I know better than God. And one more quickly, when I focus on what's good today, I have a good day. And when I focus on what's bad, I have a bad day. If I focus on a problem, the problem increases. If I focus on the answer increases. I really love these sentences. I love this reading because, at the beginning it was really hard for me to pause. It says pause when agitated. I really wanted to make my point. Even if it's at the grocery store and anywhere, I had to be right. But this program is really teaching me how to stay the right size, to stay grounded, to pause and be patient, loving and tolerant, and making sure that I'm running on God's will, not self-will. But I had 5 people on my amends list. They were my parents, my brother, and 2 friends. My parents didn't want to hear it. They were just, because when I came to AA, I was diagnosed with cirrhosis and stage 4. And they were just happy that I survived. So they didn't care about my amends, but it was really very important to me to say them out loud, to clean my side of the street. And it was incredible feeling. And my goodness, what a life today, that I don't have to have resentments anymore, and that I can live in peace and surrender and be free. It's a beautiful life today, and I thank you all for teaching me how to be happy like the way you guys are. And of course, thank you to my sponsor, who I love so much, and she knows exactly what to say to me every time I have a dilemma, I'm confused, or I maybe want to run on self-will. Thank you all, and thank you. Rhonda is back, so I love that she's here in this meeting as well. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Joanne?
Hello, family. My name is Joanne. I'm alcohol. I enjoyed what you doing to me. You done a great job, especially for your first time. And I enjoyed all the comments, and I enjoyed the reading too. I was taught that there was a sponsor step, and my sponsor taught me when I was doing my 8th step. I got my list from my 4th step, and he had me where he talk about self-appraisal. He explained to me that I can make some columns. Now, maybe, later, and never. And I was like, I had got happy when he said never. So I put a lot of names up on never. But at first he didn't tell me that them names move around. Them names move around from never. They come to the forefront. But what he taught me, and what happened for me, and it helped me so much, he said each name, you pray for each name one by one. He said, and then that one name might bring up some other names. And he said, cause you might have someone where you hurt his family. And then when you hurt his family, you hurt the children, you hurt the people that stay with him, you hurt a lot of people. He said, so you remember to pray for each person one by one. And at the time when I was doing that, when I was first doing my 8th step, I didn't have no job and I didn't have no car. And I had to take the public transportation back and forth to the meeting. And I had bought me a little book. And that helped me so much. It helped me to remember the people that I had harmed. It helped me to pray for each individual, and it made me care for myself and other people because, you know, the principle is brotherly love behind that step. And it helped me to get right with other people, even though some people I couldn't remember, but when I saw somebody that reminded me of somebody that I had harmed, they gave me an opportunity to pray and ask God to do for them what He was doing for me. And I got that from my sponsor. And then by the reading, it said, if my sponsor told me, if I get to a snag and I feel like I'm not ready to confront that person, he said, don't. He said, stop, go back to your third step, and come back up. And I took the direction from him. And it was good direction because one thing I got out of the step 8 was praying, the willingness to do what was in front of me to do. And by the time I got ready to make my amend, when it was time for me, I wasn't afraid to make the amend because I trusted the process. Because in order for me to get there, I had to follow the step before the step. And he taught me early in recovery, you don't go further, you always can go back. And that helped me to go back to my 7-step and it helped me with my 7-step prayer. Because you know, the 7-step prayer talk about the good and the bad. Talking about what I'm no better than nobody else, nobody no better than me. So he took me back there. Then he had me take a look at my character defect. What part did I play in? He helped me he just helped me to take a look at the wrong that I had called somebody else. And he had me to examine my own wrong. And then he asked me to pray and ask God to forgive those people and ask God to forgive me, you know, because it wasn't like taking it for granted. This is a serious matter because now I'm trying to get right with God and His people, myself. I'm trying to get right now because I'm ready to go out here in the real world now. And now I done done my 5th step. I done came up to the 6th and 7th. I'm not ashamed no more. So whatever I done, I got to face it, but I can't face it unless I pray. So I have to stay in prayer, and I had to pray for willingness to do the next right thing. And you know, come to find out, I really liked the 8th step. And when I got to my 9th step, after carefully going back through my 8th step, I really enjoyed my 9th step, but I can wait until next week to talk about the 9th step a little bit more, because right now we just in the beginning. We getting ready to go to the 9th step. We getting ready to get right. You know, we getting ready to make those amends, and then they got direction in order to make those amends for your 9th step. You know, and I had to follow the 9th step direction from my sponsor. And I was able to make my amends. So I'm going to stop there. I'm going to come back next week. I'm going to be ready to go back again. I keep coming back. And thank you, man. Thank you, man, Jacqueline, for calling me out. I love you.
Sheila?
Hi, everyone. I'll be quick because I see it's the time. Sheila Alcoholic, and I'm sorry about my internet going in and out. I'm really don't know what's up with that, but I do apologize. There's nothing I can do about that. It's already been said so much, you know, that our real purpose is to be of maximum service to God and the people around us. And like Jamie said, you know, to point out the main point, that faith without the actual application of the efforts is worthless, you know. It's a program of action and thoroughness and courage and faith. I think, you know, this step, I did a timeline of, I'm not going to focus on resentments because that's 4 and 5, but the my part list, you know, that I got my harms from. Yeah, I had a lot of my parts for people who hurt me very badly. So I think the most important thing is to go over with, you know, my sponsor was to go over with my sponsor and role play, you know, that amends, or actually, you know, get the suggestions to whether it should be a letter, or just a note and write a letter and burn it, or actually write a letter and send it, or to just ask God to take that person, that broken person, and heal him, because it says to be maximally useful to God, we have to also care about healing the other people, even if we don't like them, because that's true God love. It says we may be diffident, which means uncertain about telling people, well, listen, I'm now a believer in Christ and Christ's love and infinite, love is God. They don't care. A lot of people don't care. They just want to know what your part was, how you would change it if you could, and then ask without bringing yourself or the buts into anything. What can I do? Is there anything I can do to change things? And I was not allowed to use the word I'm sorry. I just had to speak in terms of actions. And I think that was really important, that people know what action you would, and maybe will still take. I had 50 years from my toddler years to, no, we're not responsible as toddlers, but my young child years to 62 years old of amends to make, and it's still ongoing. It says we make amends wherever possible, not whenever, because when is always God's timing. For me, I couldn't time my amends. They just sort of fell in front of me, like some people have already said. God put that person in front of me. When I tried to control the when and tried to find people, it didn't work. So, I mean, it's such an individual, intimate thing, but the bottom line is I needed, in order to free myself, to know that, God can take broken people, myself, and also the people who did help break me with some of the things they did. And, God is page 552, if they react to me. I had one woman react in expletives and tell me I was a selfish, it hurt, but I prayed for her. I think the whole ultimate purpose of it all is to detach from self and ego and be able to see the situations in terms of love and forgiveness, of those people and of myself, so I can get that wreckage out of the way and be an open spiritual channel, so I can do the next right things and see what's in front of me. So I'm still working at it. I do have 10 years as of Sunday, and it's a growing situation, God willing. And thank you so much, and I love you all, and my beautiful sponsee is here, and she's amazing, and thank you so much for letting me share.
Thank you, Sheila. Before I give it over to Jamie to close out, for time-wise, I'm going to ask Steph. I know your hand was up, so I'm going to give you an opportunity. Did you want to say anything? No? Your hand was up earlier. Okay. All right. Jamie, you want to share, and as far as the and I guess I'll close it out afterwards.
Hang on just a second. I got something for Sheila.
Oh.
There you go, Sheila. Congratulations on your 10 years. We are grateful we are grateful to have you as part of our family.
Thank you. That means so much. It's beautiful.
You are welcome. And yeah, sometimes we go a little over in the meeting and not close right out. Like step 6 being about willingness, step 8 is also about willingness. Notice I mean, how does a dumb guy like me figure that out? Oh, because they use the word willingness. You know, and I love the specific wording in it. And boy, I hear people share that some of the things that their sponsors told them to do, and I'm like, where the hell does it say that in the book? Because it so often does it. One of those things that I hear sponsors say, I was to make a list of those that I would, those that I might, and those that I absolutely will not. Really? Where does it say that in the book? It doesn't. So, right out of the book, we had a list of all persons we had harmed and whom we were willing to make amends to. So it's one list. It means everybody I can ever think of that I've ever harmed. Everybody. Now, I might not be willing to make amends to all of them at that time, but if I continue to pray for the willingness and ask God to create the opportunity and to soften my heart, then I'll make that amends. This step is about being overcomer, not continuing to be a victim. Oh my gosh, I hate it when people are decades sober in Alcoholics Anonymous still playing the victim card. Bless their hearts, what did they miss in the steps? You know, I might have been a victim when I was 2.5 feet tall. When I started drinking, I became a survivor because alcohol was my survival tool. But when I got to Alcoholics Anonymous, this book, this work, not the meetings, not the people, but this book, this work, gave me the tools and skills of how to be an overcomer. This step is about taking responsibility for my own actions. Reflecting back on step 4, you know, we look for our part in things, and oftentimes when we were victimized, especially if we were young and children, maybe we didn't have a part in that particularly, but looking for our part comes in the 4th column, and that is foundational to our 8-step list. So maybe the way I kept what my part in things was is that once I was old enough, I never sought out a way to overcome the emotional baggage of being a child. I mean, there's therapy, there's church, there's Alcoholics Anonymous, there's other 12-step programs. I cannot get here and stay a victim. I am given a pathway to become an overcomer. And as I become an overcomer, what that will allow me to do on the journey is make things right for the harm that I have done. If I go to someone, and I have let God, I mean, yes, there's been a couple of those, what I like to call impromptu amends. Because you see the person walking down an aisle in a supermarket and it's unavoidable. But the truth is God has presented the opportunity, and without the willingness to do it, I don't believe that the God's timing ever would have been involved, because I had to have the willingness to do that. But the beautiful thing about that is just the act of willingness itself. While it does not use these words, I believe the act of willingness itself is an exercise in developing the spirit of forgiveness in my heart as well. And in tonight's reading, it talked about we go to them in a forgiving manner. So every approach I make, I have to take the idea of forgiveness in my heart into it. If not, it's just going to work. Not going to work. And you know, oftentimes we have people who say, well, I can't forgive you for that. And you know what? It's okay that they can't forgive me for that. You know why? Because now that the issue is not between me and them anymore. It's between them and God. Because I have done everything possibly in a spiritual pathway in nature to set matters right with them. And I am not to walk away angry, resentful, or hurt. Just in the idea of acceptance and the fact that regardless of how they may feel about me, I have the spirit of forgiveness in my heart towards them. So whether or not they forgive me is not the important thing. It's that I am. And what happens when that happens is I have, to the best of my ability, cleaned my slate with them. They may not think so, but spiritually I have done the best of my ability to clean my slate with them. And because I have done this work, I have cleaned my slate with God. If they got a problem with it, that's between them and God. And guess what? It's not my business. I know a lot of people in Alcoholics Anonymous that think that somebody else's business is their business. Nope. It's not my place to tell somebody else's story, to talk about other people, or to do any of that. It's just my place to fulfill what our preamble promises. That we are a fellowship of people who share their experience, strength, and hope with each other and help others to recover from alcoholism. It is my purpose to fulfill what is talked about in chapter 5. We share in a general way what it was like, what happened, and what it's like now. Not to do a fifth step from my little square. Because the only thing that does is it chases people out of the rooms. I've listened to a lot of people tonight talk about their sponsors and that you gotta do this, you gotta do that. There is not one place in the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous that tells me I get to tell you, you gotta anything. Everything is a suggestion. Either you like the suggestion and you follow it, or you don't, and you continue to live a path of self-will. Not my business either way. If I don't have willingness, folks, to be different, to change, then one day I will drink again. And I am absolutely convinced of that. Or I will choose a permanent solution to temporary problems. And I've seen that happen a whole lot of times. The emotional BS between my ears is not worth any of it. The emotional BS between my ears has generally been manufactured out of fear. Why do we not have willingness in step 8? Because generally we are either still carrying the resentment, or we are living in the fear of rejection when it comes to step 9, that we won't be accepted. But here again, we have made a list of all persons we have harmed and whom we are willing to make amends to. You know, that also includes the dead. I can write a letter to the dead. I can go to a gravesite. I might not be able to carry on a conversation, but I can still make that amends. And I know that because 7 years ago, I did that with the most powerful resentment that I ever had. And when I did that, I went in it finally with the spirit of forgiveness in my heart. And I read and I cried and I kissed my father's grave, and I walked away a free man. But I cannot have forgiveness without willingness. It doesn't work. Thank you. I'll read us out, Larry.
Yeah, page 164.
Yep, as soon as I get it here on my screen. And here again, this is part of the no place in the book where it says you gotta. And how do I know that? Because of this first line. Our book is meant to be suggestive only. We realize we know only a little. God will constantly disclose more to you and to us. Ask Him in your morning meditation what you can do each day for the man who is still sick. That's our 12-step prayer, by the way. The answers will come if your own house is in order. But obviously, you cannot transmit something you haven't got. See to it that your relationship with Him is right, and great events will come to pass for you and countless others. This is the great fact for us. Abandon yourself to God as you understand God. Admit your faults to Him and your fellows. Clear away the wreckage of your past. 8 and 9. Give freely of what you find and join us. We shall be with you in the fellowship of the Spirit, and you will surely meet some of us as you trudge the road of happy destiny. May God bless you and keep you until then. It's back to you for the prayer, Larry.
All right, we have a special way of closing out in primary purpose. We can't hold hands like brick and mortar, but we hold our hands up to the screen, and we have a moment of silence for those still sick and suffering, and we say the Lord's Prayer. Who brought us from shame to grace tonight?
Our Father,
Our Father,
who
who
art
art in heaven,
hallowed be thy
hallowed be thy
name. Thy
name.
kingdom come,
Thy kingdom
thy will
come,
be done,
thy will be
on
done,
earth as it is in
on
heaven.
earth as it is in
Give us this day our
Give
daily
us
bread.
this day our daily
Forgive us our
bread,
trespasses,
and forgive us our
as we
trespasses,
forgive those who
as
trespass
we
against
forgive
us.
those who
And
trespass
lead us
against
not
us.
into temptation,
Lead us not
but
into
deliver us
temptation,
from evil.
but
For
deliver
thine
us
is the
from evil.
kingdom, the
For
power,
thine is the
and the
kingdom,
glory,
the power, and the
forever.
glory, forever and ever.
Amen.
Amen.